Welcome to Flow with the Grow. I'm your host, Sophia, a health and fitness professional, positivity distributor, and a real-life human being with real-life challenges. Every Tuesday, you will hear my honest conversations on the day-to-day highs and lows that life teaches us, as well as bring you actionable tips that you can implement to improve your health and wellness journey. This podcast will empower you to flow with the inevitable setbacks of life. You will learn what it means to flow with the grow, see through a lens of optimism, and navigate your way to living your best life. Thank you so much for being here with me today. Now let's jump into your daily dose of positivity and growth. Hey, welcome back. If you're new here, hello, hi, welcome. I'm so happy you're here. My name is Sophie, and in today's episode, I am going to talk more about my tattoos. I always get people asking me what they mean, what they are, how many I have. So I thought this would just be kind of a fun episode to share those with you today. I know there are different views out there of tattoos and why put a tattoo on your body. Maybe people are against it or for it. I think it's being a lot more accepted these past few years, especially within the workplace. For me personally, it's just a way for me to it's a way for me to express myself in a different way. And not that I need everyone or want everyone to know what these tattoos mean, but it's more of a way that I can express myself to myself and express myself in a way that's different than maybe painting or photography or writing. It's meaning, it's reminders for myself as well. And maybe some people don't agree with that, but for me, it is a way for me to express myself and a way for me to have reminders, permanent reminders, constant reminders for myself. And it's just a different form of expression that is, to me, fun. And also, not gonna lie, I just like the look of them. I hate pain, but I will sit through the pain of tattoos. I would say that it's definitely worth it to take your time when choosing tattoos. I know some people who do it just to do it and they'll choose one and just put it on their body just because they like it. For me, all of my tattoos have meaning or representation or reminder or symbolizes something. And I've thought through all of them and I've sat with it for a few months or years before getting them. I think there were a couple where I just kind of right away got them and didn't think too much about them, but I don't regret any of them. But if you're looking to get your first tattoo, I would encourage you to sit on it for a little bit, especially because it might evolve over time. Like there's gonna be things that you're gonna want to add, take out. Maybe you'll think of something else that you didn't before. So that's kind of my tip or my encouragement to you if you are thinking about getting a tattoo for yourself. My very first tattoo is on my right foot. I got it with my sister, my twin sister, and holy hell, it was super painful. I just remember I was second. Yeah, my sister Hannah was first. I was second, and I remember holding on to her hand so tight. She ended up having her hand was red and ended up having imprints from my hand squeezing so hard. But okay, so it's this design that we created, and I have to give credit to my sister Hannah because she really pushed for the design to be the design that it is, because when we got it, the alignment wasn't working. We wanted a center point and it wasn't, the tattoo artist couldn't get it to go the way that we wanted to, from his computer, I guess. And I don't know, Hannah, I in my mind, I would have been completely fine with that. I was like, yeah, that's fine, whatever, let's just do that. But Hannah was pushing for it. She was like, no, this is how I want it. She kept saying no, 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 until it was the way that she thought it should be, and until the way that we had it originally drawn up. So it's a design with a heart, a star, an infinity symbol, and then our zodiac sign. So it's Gemini. So it is the Gemini zodiac sign. And there's a quote. Her quote says, "Together forever, never apart." And then it has the 3 dots so that it continues. And then mine is the 3 dots for continuous. Maybe in distance, but never in heart. So let me explain the heart and the star, because there's kind of a cool story with this. When we were growing up, we had a lot of the same clothes. And my mom would put a heart, like a small little heart, using whether it was a pen or a permanent marker, just a small little heart on tags so we could see whose was who. So hers was a heart, H for Hannah, and mine was a star, S for Sophie. And that stuck with us our entire life up to this day. And so it kind of grew this meaning and symbolized, I guess, just our relationship, our friendship, our twin sisterness. And I don't know, it's kind of cool. So that has stuck with us from the very beginning. And we decided to put that into the tattoo. And then the infinity symbol. And we have a center point with all of those. And then we have the Gemini symbol and the quote all on our foot. The second one that I got, this one is on my left arm. It's my wrist and then up my forearm a little bit. And I think this one probably I get asked the most about this one. Probably there's maybe one other one, but this one especially because all it is just these little lines going, and I think people might think it's vertical, but actually it's read horizontally. If you've ever heard of a sigil, I believe that's how you pronounce it. A sigil is when you have, I think it's a phrase or a word. Yeah, it's a phrase. A phrase, and you take out the same vowels and the same letters, and you kind of create this symbol. So I took this idea and I used this phrase, and instead of creating an entire symbol, I just took out the lines of the first letter in each word. Here's the phrase. Everything happens for a reason. Now, this tattoo actually was in the works, in the process for about a couple of years before I actually got it. It's kind of funny because I have my notebook that I first started designing this, where I tried a bunch of different ideas, and you can see this tattoo evolve over time from one thing to the next to the next. I tried a full one symbol. I tried the lines, but in different ways, different orders. Like it kind of evolved over time. You can see it on paper. So that's pretty cool. But I decided to get this quote because at the time of my life, it was really when I first started believing that everything happened for a reason. There's things that was going on in my life, and I was like really believing it. But also it was a time where I feel like a lot of women were getting this tattoo, like the cliche, like quote, everything happens for a reason. And I wanted it to be unique. I just had a feeling in me. I just needed to change it. I wanted it to be different. I wanted it to be more unique and specific to me. So that's what I did. And so when you read it, it's, like I said, the first letter of every word, and just the lines are taken out. So once you see it and I explain it to you, I think that you would see what I'm talking about now, but it's read from left to right. EHFAR. And then with some of the lines taken out from each letter. I later on decided I wanted to add in the symbol. I decided to put that on my wrist, my left wrist, so it's at the end of the EHFAR. And this is my only current color tattoo. So it's a dark purple and it fades into black. The symbol, I think, has different meaning to different people. For me personally, it really symbolizes the ultimate universe, like the universe in total. Everything is connected. And then also in meditation, when meditating, this is not true all the time, but the sound also is a reflection of my breath, and that is my life. So my life breath, and that always runs through me. It also symbolizes the sound of the universe and unifies everything in the universe, and also consciousness in everything that I do and in the universe as a whole. There are different parts of this symbol. So the part that kind of is the first hook of the symbol kind of looks like a 3, like the number 3. So that top loop is the unconscious state, or the deep sleep state, or death. That's what that part means. The second loop, like not really a loop, but the second part to that at the bottom is the conscious state. So being awake and experiencing life through the 5 senses that we have, or the wakeful state. At the top, the shape that looks kind of like a diamond is the infinite state or absolute consciousness. Then below that is a little like line type thing design. That one is called Maya, I think is how you say it. It's the illusion preventing us from infinite state. And below that, the circle looping looking design line represents the dream state between waking and deep sleep. And it's your experience of the world without being fully awake or in deep sleep. So from this point on, I'm not really sure the orders of my tattoos, so I'm just going to kind of wing it and go through each one. I have about 17, I would say. It totally depends on how you count my tattoos because I have some that are in kind of clumps, but I got them at separate times. And also I got a few at the same time, but they're kind of individual tattoos. So I don't know, anywhere from 15 to 17 in total, with one coming on the way, actually, May 22nd. I'm sure I'll be sharing more on that on the episode after I get that, but super excited, super pumped. On my right hand, I have 3 small tattoos. I first got the peace sign and the heart just to symbolize and promote, I guess, even peace and love. I am all about peace and love, and not just for myself, but it also is a reminder that I have the opportunity and the chance to give love and give happiness, be love every moment of every day with every interaction that I have, every human that I meet. Like I have the chance to be able to bring that into someone's life. Maybe they're having a bad day. Maybe they need just an uplifting spirit to brighten their day. But then also I know for myself that peace and love is always with me as well. Later on, I decided to add the smiley face because peace, love, and happiness. And again, it's just a reminder for me to be a someone in every person's life, every person that I come in contact with, whether I know them or not, that again, I have the chance to be able to provide and be peace, be love, and be happiness, and to be a smile in someone's day. I never know what someone else is going through, no matter what their reaction is or how they're acting towards me. And I know that I am in control of how I respond and how I interact with people. And I can choose to be someone who is going to be loving and can provide that love and bring them peace. Maybe in their life, they don't have that peace. And again, just to smile, be that sort of happiness. I think that we need more of it in today's society. I know that for myself, I have the power to make or break someone's day. And the peace, love, and happiness just kind of is a way for me to be reminded of that for myself. And like I said, for people that I come in contact with, and just to promote that day to day, like to promote peace, to promote love, to promote happiness. Along with the peace in the heart, when I first got those, I also got a word on my inner right arm, like where my tricep is, kind of like not my tricep, but more so on my bicep, I guess, and more like the inner bicep, inner arm. Anyways, so it says Ananda. And a fun fact here, I don't know if you've heard of people going and getting tattoos at different states they visit, different countries, different towns when they travel. Well, I know of some people who do that. And I was reading a book one day and I was like, you know what? Every time I read a book, I'm going to get a tattoo, something that reminds me, something that really sticks out in the book. Now, I've only done this a couple times now, and I don't really read anymore. I more listen to audio on Audible. But I read the book by Eckhart Tolle called A New Earth. And wowzers, if you need a good book to read, maybe one that is going to enlighten you, you want to learn more about the spiritual aspect, and not just spiritual, but just growing in a way that is going to help you get closer to a higher power and consciousness, I would highly recommend A New Earth. Now, a lot of things stuck out, and a lot of things I had to read over and over and over again to really grasp the concept of it. But one thing he talked about was Ananda, and this means the bliss of being. To me, that really stood out. And this again is a reminder for me to always remember the importance and the peacefulness, the bliss of being, to just be. And it's kind of a concept that's kind of hard to explain, because to be, like capital B and then E, is kind of you just doing nothing. To be isn't to try and think your way into, it's not to think your way into trying to be quiet, trying to just be, but like you just are. Like you right now, you just are. It's a reminder that I always, at any moment, I can always come back to this being that I am. To remind myself that to be is blissful in itself. To take intentional quiet time, whether it's on a walk or meditating, just to be by myself. And in the book, he kind of relates it to nature. Like he talks about how in nature, everything just is as it is. There are no judgments. A tree is a tree. If the wind blows, it also blows with it. And I don't remember exactly now what was said, but I just remember it was a lot about within the nature aspect. So Ananda, the bliss of being. And I got it in a cursive type lettering. And I know, I'm sure people think it says Amanda, but does not say Amanda. I actually had another tattoo artist make that letter look more like an N instead of an M, but Ananda. And also it's kind of this aspect of it being a purpose, like my inner purpose, my inner life's purpose is to just be, like to come to that awareness and the consciousness, and that comes with just being. Okay, and then on my right arm, my wrist, I have a yin yang and 2 quotes. So the yin yang, I think also, again, it depends on who you ask and what their meaning of this yin yang is. For me personally, it's kind of a symbolization of the balance of everything. With the dark comes the light. With the light comes the dark. It's also a symbolization and the meaning of the universe having and governed by a duality, a cosmic duality. And it's a set of opposing and complementing energies. It's kind of like the sun and moon, male and female, the dark and the light, positive and negative. And this balance consists in everything and is perceived in everything. This balance exists in everything. After this yin yang, I have 2 quotes. The first one says, "The anchor holds in spite of the storm," and it has a little anchor attached to it. And that's just kind of a reminder that no matter what storm I'm in, meaning no matter what struggle I'm facing or challenge, no matter how strong that storm is, the anchor, being me, will hold. So I will hold my anchor, myself will hold strong throughout any storm that may come my way. The next one, this one is from a book. It is a quote that stuck out to me in The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck by Mark Manson. And it says, "If we're unwilling to fail, then we're unwilling to succeed." This was something that I had already been kind of exposed to. Like, I think that we fail forward. It's learning and growing, and we have to fail in order to succeed. But it's more of this positive sense to it. So if we're unwilling to fail, meaning if we're unwilling to grow, if we're unwilling to have things be messy or not perfect or not the way that we want, if we're not willing to suck at things first, if we're not willing to not be perfect at it or to not do it right the first time or second time or third time, if we're unwilling to do those things, then we're unwilling to succeed, because in succeeding in anything, we likely will and must fail first and learn first. So it's almost this failing with purpose. If we're failing but with no purpose and we just quit, I don't think that's good. But if we're failing with this purpose and intention to grow from it and learn from it, then failure is good, and we can then be willing to succeed. On my right collarbone, I have the words, "She is art." Now, this for me is symbolizing myself, and she is art, meaning if you were to look at any piece of art, like for me, when I look at a painting or whatever it is, it's sometimes beautiful. It's sometimes crazy and weird. It's sometimes creative, bold, messy, chaotic, sad, happy, all of the adjectives and words that you can think of that an art piece, a piece of art is or may be. That's kind of symbolizing also myself, and that all of it is okay, and that all of it is beauty, and that all of it is art. On my right ankle, I have two quotes. One says, and it's kind of just all wrapped in one, up my leg, and it says, "Find your fire, be your strength." These are two phrases that came to me when I was in college, when I was kind of dipping my toes into online coaching, health and fitness, network marketing companies, and just kind of having an entrepreneur mindset. And for whatever reason, those two quotes always stuck with me. Fun fact, I actually have a website called beyourstrength.com, and I have not really gone on it. I think I did a little bit with it, but I have that domain. So anyways, be your strength and find your fire. So find your fire, meaning find your passion for whatever it is in life. You're something that sets your soul on fire, that gives you a fire that makes you feel alive, that brings you that energy that you love to do. And be your strength, meaning be your own kind of strength through the thick and the thin, the good, the bad, the positive, the negative. Be strong, be strength, be your strength. I feel like these phrases have kind of evolved over time. And now that I say that, I would say that tattoo meanings, I think, evolve over time as well. Maybe a new meaning is attached to a tattoo that you already have. Maybe you didn't think about it before. Maybe something else happens in your life, and it's kind of like this tattoo is a reminder of whatever it is that later happens after you get the tattoo. Below those two quotes, I have the Anytime Fitness Running Man symbol. It is the Running Man is kind of like the brand of Anytime Fitness, the logo of Anytime Fitness. And I got this at a Anytime Fitness conference that I went to. Actually, the Running Man with the semicolon that I also have with these two phrases that I just read to you, the two quotes. I got those for free as a free tattoo. So that's pretty dope. It was awesome. At the conference, if you got something with the Anytime Fitness logo or something involving Anytime Fitness, it was free. So they had someone there. They had a few tattoo artists. So I was able to do that. The Running Man, of course, just because I work at Anytime Fitness and it's a big, big part of my life. It symbolizes and will always symbolize this time of my life and the growth, especially that I've had with this job and this career path and with this company. The semicolon I added to it, and there's a few different meanings for this. Number one, that whatever I do in life, it's not the end. Whether it is Anytime Fitness or something else that I do, like there's never really a stopping point because I'm always going to be growing continuously. The second meaning is an awareness for mental health and also suicide. This has also evolved. This meaning has evolved for me over time. I am very much an advocate for mental health and for breaking the stigma and for encouraging people to work on their mental health, not just physical health, because that mental health aspect, I believe, comes first with anything that we do. Now, the suicide awareness part, or the one that is more of like suicide prevention, I guess, is I was never suicidal, I would say. I never was 100%. But sometimes when I was drinking, I would have the thoughts, which was it's kind of weird, kind of crazy, because when I'm sober, I absolutely never even considered it, like remotely considered this as an option in my life. It was not an option. But for whatever reason, when I was drinking, I don't know if other people like have these thoughts or if it was just me or if it was the alcohol. It's not that I ever planned to take my life, but it was more of like the alcohol kind of took over and was just me reflecting on and thinking about my life. And not that if it mattered, but I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it. I would say that I was not suicidal by any means, and I am not right now currently. I want to enforce that and say I am not suicidal, but I have known people who have taken their life, and it's just kind of that awareness and prevention of and symbolization of mental health and the importance of mental health. And moving along to my spine, I have a spine tattoo, and it's kind of funny because I remember thinking I am never going to get a spine tattoo. I, for some reason, just didn't like them, or think that I just didn't really like the look of them. Maybe it was less of the look of them, but more of how painful I thought it would be. But here I am with a spine tattoo, and actually it was the least painful of my tattoos. Like, I was about to fall asleep. It was not painful at all, except for when he started going off my spine and more like onto my neck and upper back. That hurt. So this tattoo I got after I went to Haiti. I have a palm tree with a mountain and waves, like beach waves, water waves. And I included that because I just remember the breathtaking views when I was in Haiti. And I distinctively remember looking one direction and seeing the ocean, I think, and looking the other direction and seeing mountains and mountains of palm trees. It was unbelievable. It was breathtaking. It was so beautiful. And that part really stuck out to me. So I wanted to include that in my tattoo that I got for Haiti. And down my spine, it says, it's a quote, and it says, "What the eyes don't see, the heart can't feel." Someone that went on the Haiti trip with me told me that, and that really stuck with me because it's so true. We always hear of these third, fourth world countries. They don't have much. And even in the US, like, people have less than us and they're poor, living on the streets, and they don't really have food and water and all of these things, right? Like, we hear of these stories and these things, but unless you go and experience it for yourself, you cannot understand or grasp the magnitude of it, the emotions attached to it, and being in it is completely different than hearing about it. So what the eyes don't see, if you don't see it with your own eyes, the heart can't feel. You can't feel the emotions involved when you see something like that. So this one might be like the most, not necessarily deep, but symbolic meaning, maybe, like, that I've had personal experience with. So it's a very important tattoo for me. All of them are important, but that one especially. This next one, and I believe this will be my last one. Oh no, I have one other one. Okay, so I have another phrase, another quote, and this one is also from a book, and the book is called, gosh, I can't remember it now, but it was a one on emotions and feelings, and a friend gave it to me. One thing that she talked about and that she said was, "Joy is with you." I have this on my left hand, kind of going down my thumb. And the meaning behind this is that it's kind of a reminder that no matter what I'm going through, no matter what emotion I'm feeling, whether it's sad, overwhelmed, frustrated, happy, like, no matter what it is, joy is always with me. Just like love and giving love and receiving love, like, that is our birthright to be loved. Joy also is our birthright to feel and to have. Joy is with you at any moment. And I can always come back to this if I am struggling in any way. And it's just that constant reminder for me. Going up my left arm now, I also have another tattoo on my left inside arm, kind of like by my inner bicep. 3 symbols, hieroglyphics, I think is what you would call it. The first one stands for learn. The second one stands for connect. The third one stands for intuition. The first one is kind of like a triangle with a little dot on the top connected to it. The second one, which means connect, is a design of different triangles. And then the third one is an eye. And that one's the intuition one. This has a couple different meanings here. It can be read separately. Learn. So in general, always be learning. Connect. So always in general, be connecting with myself and with other people. And then intuition. So just to remember to listen to my intuition. This can also be read together. Learn to connect to my intuition. So it's something that I'm still working on, but I'm always learning to connect and tap into my inner knowing and into my intuition. And this last one, which is my biggest piece yet, and actually my next one that I'm getting might be about the same, maybe a little bit bigger, but it's a few different pieces here all combined together. So if we start at my left shoulder blade, it is a little person meditating. And then the infinity symbol, the connection is at the heart center. Kind of the meaning behind that is that the infinity symbol is like everything's happening at once, but also that time-wise, there's the past, there's the present, and there's the future. But the past, the present, and future is actually happening all at once because right now is the present, but what I just said, that's now the past. And then what I just said was also the future. So it's all happening at once. What's coming out of the head of the person meditating are the platonic solids. So these are also the elements of life. I've had a lot of people, not a lot, 2 or 3 people probably tops, ask if my tattoo is related to dragons and something. I don't even know. Some video game, I think, Dragon Z Ball, or I don't really know. But no, it is not that. It is, I guess the symbols and the shapes are the same, kind of the geometric shapes. So the platonic solids are the elements of life: water, fire, earth, air, and spirit. Also, funny story with this, my tattoo artist, which by the way, if you're looking for a good tattoo artist, I highly recommend Ryan Harrison. He's in Sioux Falls. I will also link his information in the show notes if you want to check him out. But his name is Ryan Harrison. His place is called Crow in Ascension. It's just him. And he does phenomenal work, I must say. I don't go to anyone else anymore. I've kind of gotten to know him, and every time I go, we have great conversation. And when I got this tattoo, I had already gotten, I think, a couple tattoos prior to this, but I was telling him my idea, and we always first have an initial consultation where I tell him my idea. We talk about what I want, what I don't want, placement, things like that. And then we set up the actual appointment. And then later on, he, in the meantime, draws it up. So when I got there for my tattoo appointment, he had it drawn up. And the main symbol that he put was the water symbol. So like the platonic solids and all the elements of life are coming out. But this main one, my first bigger piece on my upper arm, is the water symbol. And it's pretty amazing because we never talked about this. But me and my sisters, we are planning to get a tattoo of the elements of life. And based off of the meaning of each and then our personalities, we just kind of decided what element we would be. And mine was water, like just kind of free flowing. And he had told me that, so when I came in back for that and he told me his reasoning, then I was like, oh my gosh, my sisters and I, like, we decided that that was my symbol. Anyways, he just told me that he felt that he was just more drawn to the water symbol for me. Like it just fit. He felt it and that's what he could see. And just, it's just what it was. And so it was kind of crazy because that's the same symbol that we talked about for me when I get my tattoo with my sisters. So after the platonic solids, it goes into Metatron's cube and the intuition symbol. So there's also the symbolization of all of this going on. The platonic solids, Metatron's cube, the intuition symbol, it's all happening at once. It kind of all is flowing through and it never ends. Like there's no start point, there's no end point. Metatron's cube is also sacred geometry. And within this cube is a flow of energy that's just never ending. And it's connecting, like there's this symbolization of connecting Earth to the divine or the universe or source or God or your higher power. Like for me, it's just, I just resonate with the universe, with my higher power. It continuously spins with energy to replace negative thoughts with positive ones. and kind of the symbolization of personal power and discovery. And also that within the universe, all of these geometric patterns are in the universe and throughout. And if you were to look it up, it also talks about Archangel Metatron, who watches over the flow of energy in creation and provides a connection to the divine or the higher power. The cube and all of its entirety has this perspective that everything is the same, looks the same at any perspective, and that every shape in this Metatron's cube exists in the universe. They are the building blocks of everything, of all shapes, of all physical matter. And then it is the symbol for intuition. For me, I feel like I'm a very intuitive person, and I kind of went through this phase of this discovery of being more intuitive and connecting more to my intuition and understanding through this intuitive feeling versus a conscious, logical reasoning. It's more of this instinctive feeling. And so in and throughout this whole tattoo, it's just this never-ending cycle of flow, of energy, and of connection to the universe, to my higher power. And I believe that's it. That's that. Those are my tattoos. And with another one on the way, and I'm sure I will definitely be explaining that one when I get that. Like I said in the beginning, those are the tattoos I have, the kind of the meanings behind them. So hopefully that was kind of fun for you to listen to those. If you were curious, well, now you know. I want to say I appreciate you. Thank you for taking the time to always listen and have me in your ears. Thank you for your rating and reviews. If you have any questions on my tattoos, or maybe you're wanting to get a tattoo, or maybe you want to share the idea, or maybe you have questions about anything about tattoos, let me know. And like I said, I will put Ryan's links in the show notes below if you're wanting to check him out. As always, you rock. I love you. I hope you have a great rest of your day, night, week, weekend. Bye for now. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Flow with the Grow. I'll see you next week for your daily dose of positivity and growth.